are many, many different sources. But in academic research, the key thing is to understand your source, to understand what kind of information you are getting. Now, there are many ways to analyze sources, but there are 4 simple criteria we can use. And these are how deep your source is, how reliable your source is, how accurate your source is, and how current your source is. So let me explain these 4 terms: deep, reliable, accurate, and current. Deep means detail, the amount of information. Again, think about the ocean. The ocean is deep. There is so much water. So this is how much information there is, how much detail there is. Depth is important because sometimes you don't need a simple answer. You need to understand something in real detail. Next is reliability. In other words, can you trust this information? You could find a book that had thousands of pages worth of information, but the information could be useless because it could be propaganda, or because the author has no idea what they're talking about. You could have someone writing about a scientific topic who isn't a scientist, who knows nothing about the topic, who is just pontificating, just talking about whatever they think. So you need to think, is this source reliable? Can I trust the information? Also, you need to think about the accuracy of the information. Is the information true? Are there facts? Are the facts true? Now, this can be a problem for even scientists and reliable newspapers. They might be trying to give accurate information, but actually the information is wrong. This happens all the time, especially in the news. So for example, something happens and they say, oh, there was an earthquake and 5 people died. Now, a couple days later, they find out that actually 50 people died. So the initial information was wrong. So you need to think about accuracy. Is this information true? And finally, you have to think about how current your source is. Current means how new the information is. Now, this is also very important. When we get into a lot of fields, old information is no longer useful. Maybe it was accurate and reliable and deep 100 years ago, but today it's completely worthless. Think about most scientific fields, how much they've changed over the past 100 years, or the past 50 years, or 20 years. So you need to consider these 4 things when you look at a source.